Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo with the June 28th, 2024, 228th edition. It's good to be back in the saddle. Colleen Daniel is out there in Studio West. We are here with the About Mansfield news team. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Woman falls out of car before being hit by oncoming traffic.
HEB is open.
City announces traffic solution for HEB grand opening. Rose Park entrance is officially reopened.
City prepares to say goodbye to the lot.
Window manufacturer to bring 500-plus jobs to Mansfield. Big boy locomotive scheduled to return to North Texas.
And in sports, Lake Ridge alum Jasmine Moore is set to make her second appearance in the Summer Olympics. We have a new addition to our team, and we will tell you who that is a little bit later in the episode, as well as a little glimpse into my personal life.
And in the talk segment, Steve dips into the 2021 archives and revisits an interview with Time Magazine's 2023 Kid of the Year, Orion Jean. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hi, this is Paul Duncan with Trinity Roofing and Construction. There are over 7,500 roofers in the North Texas area, and when a major hailstorm blows through town, that number skyrockets with companies as far away as Montana. In the planning stages of re-roofing your home, it's normal for customers to ask questions such as, where are they based out of and how many years' experience do they have roofing in North Texas? Trinity Roofing and Construction can answer each of these questions with confidence. As a family-owned, Mansfield-based business since 2011, Trinity Roofing and Construction recently received a Product Excellence Award by Owens Corning and are a Platinum Preferred Contractor with Owens Corning. Contact us today for a free, no-obligation video roof inspection. Rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau, Trinity Roofing and Construction. A Mansfield company, not only replacing roofs, but building relationships. Find us on the web at trinityroofingconstruction.com. That's trinityroofingconstruction.com.
I'm Jason Moore, Executive Director of Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Mansfield police officers were called to the 800 block of FM 917 early Sunday morning for a major accident involving a pedestrian. The incident was reported at approximately 1:15 a.m. by the victim's mother, who was driving her 21-year-old daughter home due to possible intoxication. According to the mother, her daughter fell out of the vehicle and may have been hit by another car. After the daughter fell out of the vehicle, the mother turned the car around, headed back to the scene, and called 911. When officers arrived, they found the victim unconscious but breathing with serious injuries. Emergency responders administered life-saving measures, and the victim was airlifted to JPS Hospital in Fort Worth. She is currently in stable condition and receiving ongoing care. The Mansfield Police Department's Accident Investigations Unit is looking into the incident. No arrests have been made, and authorities are asking for anyone who witnessed the accident to contact Officer Casey Knowles. We've posted his contact information on the links page of our website at aboutmansfield.com.
This is the day when we officially celebrate the end of the question. When is HEB going to open?
It's finally here, the day Mansfieldians have been anxiously awaiting for, the grand opening of our very own HEB grocery store. That was Mayor Michael Evans addressing the media and local dignitaries at Tuesday's ribbon cutting. HEB President Stephen Butt talked about the growth of the company over the past decade.
From our humble beginnings in 1905, when our founder, Florence Butt, invested $60 to open a small grocery store in Kerrville, Texas, west of San Antonio. Florence's youngest son, Howard, the grandfather to my generation, took over the business after he returned from military service and began adding stores throughout the state. Since those early days, our company has grown to 435 stores, serving Texas and Mexico, and more than 160,000 great H-E-B partners who proudly serve over 14 million customers and their families each week. As one of the nation's largest privately owned food retailers, our company has proudly served fellow Texans for 119 years, and today we look forward to meeting each of you and making many new friends here in Mansfield, Texas.
Team leader Shannon Kreitz reminisces about an event he was involved in locally and how the crowd rallied behind H-E-B coming to Mansfield.
In March, I climbed into this giant go-kart that looks like a shopping basket and rode down the streets of Mansfield. I started hearing people chant H-E-B at a parade that was for pickles. I didn't know what was going on, but I thought, man, this is unbelievable. This is a group of people that really want some H-E-B in Mansfield.
The ribbon was cut to great fanfare, including confetti that dropped from the ceiling. After the event, I caught up with team leader Kreitz and asked him, what's the one item a new H-E-B shopper should head straight for when they open on Wednesday morning?
I'm going to go with our chips and brisket queso. We have chips in the bakery, and our brisket queso is first thing on your right when you walk in Mill Simple.
I keep hearing about this magic green sauce.
That green sauce, that's right.
Sauce.
So it is one of the own brand items that we are famous for, and people absolutely love it.
Any advice?
Come out and enjoy the fun.
Nonprofit Big Hearts Day Habilitation Center and the Mansfield Animal Shelter each received a $10,000 donation to kick off the store's community involvement. The store was bright and shiny Tuesday afternoon and ready for the throng of people on Wednesday.
And while the store has been finished out, the infrastructure around it has not, specifically the Broad Street and Mitchell Road entrances. The city of Mansfield has devised a plan for those wanting to visit H-E-B on Thursday and beyond until the Broad Street entrance is open. If you are coming from either direction on Broad Street, you will need to turn south on the 287 service road by the QT gas station, drive past Kohl's until you get to the Texas turnaround, which will take you to the other side of the highway. Going north on the service road will take you to the entrance to H-E-B. The same directions apply to taking the Broad Street exit, traveling southbound on 287. Northbound travelers on 287 will exit Broad Street, and the store entrance will be immediately on your right. There is no word on when the Broad Street entrance will open. Speaking of new construction, the new entrance to Catherine Rose Memorial Park is officially open. Construction will continue over the next few weeks on the remaining portions of the new parking lot before it will be fully ready for use, after which the existing parking lot will be demolished to prepare for the next phase of redevelopment, which is coming later this year. In the meantime, Rose Park is accessible via the main drive and parking lot once again for all of your summer fun. As always, please use extreme caution, respecting the work crews around you, and do not move, drive, or walk around any barricades, as those areas are blocked off for your safety.
The lot's final weekend is upon us as they prepare to make way for future development in historic downtown. The Lot, which is an acronym for Live Outdoor Theater, opened back in October of 2015 when country artist Sawyer Brown took the stage, and quickly the venue became a family-friendly spot for concerts, movies, and special events. This coming weekend, again, closing weekend, there are two events that are planned. Friday night, June 28th, the Taylor Swift tribute band, Taylor Nation, takes the stage, while Saturday, June 29th, the Jimmy Buffett tribute band, Bluffit, takes the stage. Both shows start at 7 p.m. and are both sold out, but you will undoubtedly be able to hear the music from the sidewalk, which will give you a perfect view of Saturday night's post-performance venue closing drone show. The city in Mansfield now manages the lot and is working with a developer to bring a micro-district project to downtown. The project is known as the Water District and will be a mixed-use development that will bring more walkability, activity, and new experiences to the city.
More jobs are coming to Mansfield as Crystal Window and Door Systems TX Limited has announced plans to build a cutting-edge manufacturing facility. The company, known for its vinyl and aluminum windows and high-end systems, will invest $121 million into the project. This move is set to create 504 new jobs for the local community. To support the initiative, Crystal received a $3.15 million Texas Enterprise Fund grant, as well as a $15,000 veteran-created job bonus. Crystal Windows was founded in 1990 by Chairman Thomas Chen as a small commercial operation in New York City. Through focus, determination, and hard work with dedicated employees, Crystal has grown into a national manufacturer with 5 major production facilities. Crystal Windows corporate headquarters and main production facility will remain in New York City, with additional plants in Pennsylvania, Chicago, California, Missouri, and, coming soon, Mansfield, Texas. Crystal Windows products are distributed in more than 40 states.
Hey, remember back in August of 2021 when thousands of area residents gathered around the railroad tracks to witness the world's largest operating steam locomotive blow through town? Weighing in at 1.1 million pounds, Big Boy number 4014 is coming back to DFW in October. The big question on everyone's mind locally is, will he go through Mansfield again as he makes his way from Houston to Fort Worth? Only time will tell. Union Pacific has yet to release a specific route for the Texas leg of its summer tour, but we do know that Big Boy will be in Fort Worth October 10th and 11th. Big Boy starts a tour of western states as it makes a round-trip trek from Wyoming to California in July. A Lake Ridge alum is headed to Paris next month, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grand View Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grand View has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grand View Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Wealth Building Made Simple.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, she's done it again. Lake Ridge grad Jasmine Moore will be going to her second consecutive Summer Olympics to represent Team USA in the triple jump. Looking back at Tokyo 2021, Moore placed 23rd in the qualifying round with her longest jump at 13.76 meters, or 45 feet. Fast forward to last weekend's Olympic trials in Oregon, Moore walked away with a first-place jump at 14.26 meters, or just over 46 feet, securing her ticket to Paris next month. About Mansfield, we'll keep eyes on Jasmine Moore, and we'll post her results when it happens.
Hi, I'm Olympian athlete Jasmine Moore, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Also at the Olympic trials this past weekend was Summit grad Ben Wynn, who was entered in the platform diving competition. The class of 22 grad finished strong, yet placed 11th overall and will not be joining the team in Paris. It was Wynn's first Olympic trials competition. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. That voicemail again is 817-435-2938. Big news. We are proud and excited to announce that Angela Hornberg with One West Real Estate Company will be joining our team starting next week as our new real estate expert. Angela, she's a longtime Mansfield resident, a graduate of Mansfield High School, who is deeply involved in various aspects of the local community. Looking forward to it, starting next week on About Mansfield. I'd like to take a moment to publicly thank those who reached out to me during the month-long absence. I don't want to go into great detail, nor am I looking for sympathy, but collectively, between my wife and me, cancer has struck our home. Between my 3 skin surgeries, my wife's stage 1 breast cancer, life has been an emotional ride for the past month, and undoubtedly will be for the rest of 2024. So bear with me. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just going to take a while to get there. This coming Sunday, June 30th, is World Social Media Day, a day where all 5 billion social media users can unite. Think about it. Think about what your life would be like without social media. While you're doing that, here's a brief evolution timeline of popular social media platforms. Back in 1994, users had to dial up Prodigy, the first of the early generation dial-up services to offer full access to the World Wide Web. In 1997, 6 Degrees was launched, which was named after the concept of 6 degrees of separation. In the early 2000s came Rise, Friendster, LinkedIn, MySpace, and Facebook. In the mid-2000s, we saw the launches of YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, which is now X, Tumblr, and Instagram. In general, social media can be fun, entertaining, educational, all the while keeping us in touch with family and friends. So this coming Sunday on World Social Media Day, log on to the About Mansfield Facebook page and give us a shout out, post an emoji, or tag us in a post.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Swim safety. I'm Angel Biasatti, and you will hear more next with Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, I'll be talking about a cocktail that is a Texan-born thirst quencher, a zesty, effervescent ode to the desert.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right here, right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. And we're going to sweeten the pot this time because I'm also going to throw in a pair of tickets to Hawaiian Falls Water Park. So listen up, be the first to email. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, most Mansfieldians know that the city of Mansfield is split between 3 counties. The majority lies within Tarrant County, with the remainder in Ellis and Johnson counties. This week's question is, which county contains more Mansfield real estate, Ellis or Johnson? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, which county contains more Mansfield real estate, Ellis or Johnson? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, I'm Brian McFadden, the Executive Director for Mansfield Mission Center, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here with summer swim safety tips in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
Today, we're diving into swim safety. Did you know that it only takes 20 seconds for a child to drown in as little as 2 to 3 inches of water? Let's talk about how we can keep our little ones safe around water this summer. Every year, approximately 3,500 people in the U.S. die from unintentional drownings. That's an average of 10 fatalities per day. Alarmingly, 1 in 5 of these victims are children aged 14 and younger. Even more concerning, 67% of these drownings occur in backyard pools, spas, and even in bathtubs. For children ages 1 through 4, drowning accounts for 30% of deaths from unintentional injuries, and about 5,000 children are hospitalized each year due to drowning-related incidents. Most preschool drowning victims are in the care of their parents at the time, and 75% are out of sight for just 5 minutes or less. What can we do to prevent these tragedies? Here's a quick checklist. Supervise. Never leave a child alone near a bathtub, pool, or any body of water. Always actively supervise your children and stay within close reach of preschool-aged kids. Provide locked safety barriers for swimming areas when not in use, and keep climbable objects away from the pool fence. Teach children about water safety and ensure they understand the dangers. Learn CPR. Use CPR until medical help arrives if there is a drowning. Be extra alert when visiting homes with a pool and remove toys from the pool after use. Always use U.S. Coast Guard approved life jackets when boating, and never rely on air-filled or foam toys for safety. Remember, 19% of child drowning death occurs in pools with certified lifeguards present, so it's critical to always keep an eye on your children. If you have a pool, make sure it meets safety standards. The Texas Health and Safety Code requires pool enclosures to be at least 48 inches high, gates to be self-closing and locking, and access ladders to be secured to prevent children from using them without supervision. Here are some helpful water safety rules for children. Swim only under adult supervision. Follow posted pool rules. Always swim with a buddy. Never jump or dive unless you know it's okay. Avoid eating candy or chewing gum while swimming. Never swim at night. Get out of the water immediately if you hear thunder or see lightning. Remember, turning your back for just 2 seconds can be too long. Stay vigilant and make sure your family practices water safety. I'm Angel Biasatti reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a Texas-born thirst quencher in the cocktail of the week. Brian.
This week's cocktail of the week is the ranch water. The ranch water is a refreshing and zesty cocktail that has its roots deeply planted in the heart of West Texas. This simple yet invigorating drink has become a staple of Texas culture, embodying the rugged spirit and laid-back lifestyle of the region. The exact origins, like many of the cocktails we've talked about before, are somewhat shrouded in mystery, but it's believed to have been created in the 1960s or 70s by ranchers and cowboys working in the hot, acrid landscape of far West Texas. The drink's popularity grew as it became the go-to refreshment for those seeking relief from the scorching sun and the demands of ranch life. The original ranch water recipe is a straightforward combination of 3 simple ingredients: tequila, lime juice, and Topo Chico, a popular Mexican sparkling mineral water. The effervescence of the Topo Chico combined with the tartness of the lime and the smooth, earthy notes of the tequila creates a perfectly balanced, revitalizing drink. But don't worry about taking notes as I'm giving out the ingredients and instructions. They're always posted on bourbongospel.com. So how do you make this West Texas beach staple? You take 1.5 ounces of tequila, preferably silver, a 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice, and 4 to 5 ounces of Topo Chico sparkling mineral water. Instructions: fill a highball glass with ice, pour the tequila and fresh lime juice over the ice, and then top with the Topo Chico. Gently stir the ingredients together to combine them well, and then serve with a lime wedge. As the ranch water gained popularity beyond the borders of West Texas, variations on the original began to emerge. Some bartenders and cocktail enthusiasts have experimented with adding a splash of orange liqueur, such as Cointreau or Triple Sec, to give the drink a subtle sweetness and a depth of flavors. Others have substituted the tequila with mezcal, providing a smoky and complex twist on the classic recipe. But despite these variations, the core essence of the ranch water remains true to its West Texas roots. The drink's simplicity, paired with its ability to quench thirst and provide a refreshing respite from the heat, has made an enduring favorite among Texans and cocktail lovers alike. And as you mix up a ranch water at home or order one at your favorite bar, take a minute to appreciate the drink's humble beginnings and the rugged spirit of the West Texas ranchers who enjoyed it first. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain. And you're still not.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's 2021 interview with Orion Jean.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
I'm Mansfield Police Chief Tracy Aaron, and you are listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And here in the studio, going to do just a short, brief introduction here and get into the conversation with this gentleman. It was about a year ago, July of 2020. My guest was entered into a national speech contest. He won the contest, And we're not only going to talk about the speech contest, we're going to talk about all the different events that he's got going on throughout not only Mansfield, but the DFW area. And he lives in Mansfield. We welcome Orion Jean to About Mansfield. Welcome.
Hello. I'm so glad to be here.
How old are you?
I am 10 years old, and I am turning 11 this October.
You're just a kid.
I am.
You are. I got to admit, you are the youngest person to ever be here on the About Mansfield podcast in an interview situation.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's talk about your name, Orion. What do you know? Because you're the first person I've ever met in 60 years of living named Orion. So tell me about the origins of your name.
Well, Orion is not only a constellation, but it is also my mother's middle name. Uh-oh. So she decided that, I think we should name this baby after me. And, Orion it's a great name because it's like a star, it's a constellation, and it shines bright for the world to see. And hopefully that's what I can do with, my goal.
And your middle name is Monaco, is that correct?
It is.
Again, I've never met a Monaco. How did you receive that name?
Well, Monaco is such a beautiful place that my mom has been to before, so why not, right?
What grade are you in?
I am going to be going into the 6th grade this year.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, since I was young, since I love reading.
Since you were younger?
Yeah, younger.
Okay.
Right. I've always loved reading, so I wanted to be an author. And now, thankfully, my goal has been fulfilled. And I am actually coming out with a book called A Kid's Book About Leadership. So now I am technically an author. And I guess that's what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Let's back up to a year ago. Because a year ago, it pretty much is when your life just exploded.
It is.
And tell me about the National Kindness Speech Contest. How'd you get entered? And tell me about the entire experience.
Yeah. So about a year ago, I think it was May 19th, I got an email from my teacher, and she was telling me about this speech contest that she wanted, the rest of my classmates and me to enter in. And there was only one catch. The deadline to enter was the next day. And, I was kind of feeling conflicted, because as much as I thought this would be, a fun experience, I didn't think that I would have the time to do this because I was still in school at this point. So I still had to do other things. So I asked my mom, and she said, one of the most important things in this Race to Kindness journey, you can't win if you don't enter. So I worked really hard to, write, record, and memorize my speech and get it uploaded right before the deadline. And I just had to see what was going to happen because it was worth a shot. So a few weeks later, the competition emailed me, and they said that you made it into the top 20. And now I got to be paired with a speech coach to fine-tune my speech. And then it was up to America to vote. And after that, they chose me as the winner. And that's really what started it all.
Do you remember your speech?
I do. Well, some of it. For a good few months, that was ingrained in my mind forever. But the basics of it was, kindness is something that the world really needs right now with everything that's happening with the pandemic and all. And, you can do it today, so why not? And one thing that really stuck with me that I said in that speech is that you can join me in the race to kindness because the best part is everybody wins. And that's something that we've, ran with for the entire journey.
For someone like me, who again I've mentioned I'm in my 60s now, and so a lot of adults out there seem to have lost their kindness. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would say the same thing that I said in my speech. I would say that, kindness is going to make the world a better place. And it's really what the world needs right now. So go out and do it today because it can make someone feel a little better and it can make the world a little brighter.
My goodness. 10 years old. Sage advice from a 10-year-old. With this speech contest came a monetary prize.
Correct. It was $500, and I used that as seed money to fund the Race to Kindness.
And what did you do with that $500?
Well, my first Race to Kindness project was the Race to 500 toys. So we used the $500 as kind of, seed money just to buy some of the toys. And it was a race to 500 toys for the Children's Health Hospital in Dallas. And we wanted to, be able to help the children in the hospital because COVID has affected so many different kinds of people, and children in the hospital definitely was one of them. Toy donations were becoming scarce because they were only accepting new toys and they could only use the toys once, so they couldn't pass them on from child to child. They had to, throw them away and get them a new one since they didn't want COVID to spread or any other diseases. So I decided that, the children in the hospital, they are going to maybe go through a scary surgery or procedural that they might not want to think about. So why not just, take their minds off of it with a toy? I know better than anyone, a toy can, distract children.
So you won $500 and you decided instead of spending $500 for toys for yourself or playing video games or investing in Bitcoin or whatever people do with $500, you actually took it and gave it to someone else. And that is awesome.
Thank you.
You created Race to Kindness. Is this an organization?
Well, I like to think of it as a project. I like to think of it as, a passion project where I can hopefully help as many people as possible.
You've received some national attention in regard to Race to Kindness. You've been on Good Morning America. You've been interviewed by the Washington Post and CNN. What was your first national interview?
Well, my first national interview, we're going to have to actually rewind to my first interview that I did for the Race to Kindness. It was on the day that my first local NBC interview aired. And that was the greatest day of my life at that moment because, I had pretty much never been on TV before. Yeah. So, of course, I was super excited. And a few minutes later, or maybe a couple of hours later, my mom got a call and she said, Good Morning America wants to do an interview with you. And I was online. I was on class. So I muted myself and I was I'm going to be on Good Morning America. And, that day was probably one of the best of this Race to Kindness journey because not only were they able to interview me and get the word out, they also, the toy company Melissa and Doug, were able to give us $5,000 worth of toys. And that experience was, I'm at a loss for words, really, because, we were able to donate it to a hospital of our choice. And those kids, I was able to hear firsthand from the nurses how much this would impact them. Mm-hmm. And I remember one nurse said, she said, in all of the time that I've been here, I have never seen such a big toy donation.
And it came from at that point, a 9-year-old kid, right?
Exactly. And that was those kind of experiences where I'm able to hear how much it will impact people is what, keeps me going. It's not about the numbers. It's about who's behind the numbers. It's about the people and the why. And that's really what keeps me motivated throughout the whole thing.
You have a little brother too, don't you?
I do.
Is he as kind as you?
His name is Crown and he is 5 years old and he is one of my biggest supporters throughout the whole thing. And, he is running in a little race to kindness of his own.
Nice.
He's been at like every drop-off event and every time we went to, either the hospital or to one of our Tango Tab events for the Race to 100,000 Meals. And, I'm just glad to have him there to help support us.
At 10 years old, if I think back to when I was 10 years old and someone asked me the question, if you could change one thing in your world, what would that be? As a 10-year-old back when I was 10, I would probably think, I think every 10-year-old should have a later bedtime.
I agree. I agree.
What if there's one thing you could change in the world?
One thing?
For anybody and everybody, what's the one thing that you would change?
Okay. I honestly think that, my goal is to help race to kindness and get as far in kindness as I can go. And if I had the capability to have just one wish, I would wish for more wishes so I could wish for pretty much anything and everything to, boost kindness to the full extent and basically cover everything else. So I have as many unlimited wishes as I want to fix everything.
So we've got the Race to Kindness, but you've also got other races as well. Race to 500 Toys. You mentioned that was part of the what you did with the $500, and people contributed to that. You mentioned Melissa and Doug, the company. You've also got the Race to 500,000 Books. Tell me about that race.
The Race to 500,000 Books is, we are trying to collect 500,000 books by actually the end of August. We decided that, it may be best for us to, extend the deadline so we can be able to help more people and, continue to get the word out because we have so much stuff coming up in July and we are going to need, the community support. And I think that, we decided that it would be best if we, had more time to just continue helping people. And we are trying to collect 500,000 books for children and adults who don't have, access to books at home, like many of us children and adults take for granted because, I love books and I have the opportunity to, wake up with a book and go to bed with a book. And there are children out there who don't have that. And that's really what this race is about.
Again, the goal is 500,000 books. How many books have you received, and where are these books going to?
Okay.
What's the final destination?
So right now, we are at roughly 35,000 to 40,000, and we still have quite a long way to go. But I believe that with the help of Mansfield and the help of the country, that we will be able to reach our goal. And we are partnering with a few organizations, actually, called... We're partnering with organizations like Reading Partners, Reading is Fundamental, Literacy Achieves, Book Drive for Kids, and so many more because we are trying to make sure that all different kinds of people are getting these books.
And there are all kinds of books. They could be paperback or hardbook. They could be children's books or adult books. You just want 500,000 books.
We do. We are, looking for new and gently used books. You can, maybe put a kind note on the cover of the book, and we just want these children and these adults to know that they are special and they are loved, and these books are coming from people who care.
When someone donates a book and you look at the cover, you go, hey, this looks pretty interesting. Do you read the book before it gets donated?
It depends, like I said, I am a big book lover myself, so if there's something that I haven't read, maybe I'll just take a look inside. But, these books are for the children. And I have as many books as I could ever need. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to, take away the experience of having a book open, for the first time. And nobody owns this book but you, and nobody has ever read this book but you.
How many books do you think you've read?
Probably like 1,000 books at least. Like, okay, up, I guess.
Yeah,
like
mom's saying maybe more.
Yeah, like maybe just a little more than 1,000, but I think that.
Do you have a favorite book?
I don't, it's hard for me to pick favorite anythings because I am a book lover and I love all different kinds of books. So it would be wrong for me to put a book above another when, they're just as good as their own right. in their own right.
So you've read 1,000+ books. You must have a pretty good grasp on the English language. Do you have a favorite word?
Favorite word? I think mine would be, and I know I said I don't like picking favorites, but this one, I think my favorite word would be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Because, technically it is a word, and I know how to spell it, and it's a pretty fun word to say. Supercalifragilistic. It's fun.
It is. It is. How can you not smile when you say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Absolutely.
From the movie Mary Poppins.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite movies.
Is there a spelling bee in your future?
Funny that you say that. I have actually competed and won a few spelling bees myself.
No.
But I think that maybe, when I go into school this following year, who knows what's to come.
You also have the Race to 100,000 Meals.
Yes, I do.
Where do we stand on that, and where do these meals go?
So that was my second project, almost like immediately after the Good Morning America interview. We started, working with an organization called Tango Tab, who I've known since the second grade. And we have been really great partners and really great friends. So we just started, working on it and working with the different with the organization. And they were really great throughout the entire process. We were able to, kind of add on to what they have been doing for years, really. They have had, drop-off events, and pre-COVID, they've had like packing events where people would bring materials and they would pack like different sandwich bags and all that kind of stuff. And we were able to, add on to what they were already doing. And we didn't make 100,000 meals by ourselves. It was with the help of people all over the community, the country, and, well, really the world, that we were able to reach this goal.
The Race to Kindness, the Race to 500 Toys, the Race to 500,000 Books, the Race to 100,000 Meals. Are there any future races?
I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a Race to Million something. I don't know. We are going to, try to focus on the now and focus on getting through this race so we can help as many people as possible. And who knows, maybe after we take a little break, we might come back with, something that'll be able to help a lot more people.
You have a couple of events coming up here in Mansfield, and one is the Mansfield Back to School Book Fair. Tell me about when and where that's happening.
We are having a Mansfield ISD Back to School book drive, and hopefully we're going to have kids come and, pick out the books that they might not be able to have, otherwise, because that's the reason we're doing all of this, to, allow children to read different kinds of books and go into different people's shoes and learn about all these different kinds of cultures and people. And that's what it's all about.
And you know what? I think that is awesome. I've just been told that the books that were donated back in May for the Mansfield ISD book drive will be used for the free Mansfield Back to School Book Fair in August. You also have another event coming up on August 7th.
I do.
Tell me about that one.
This is in partnership with Run United, and we are going to have a race to kindness where different kids are going to, come, and hopefully I will be able to be there too and run 1 mile for kindness. We'll also be collecting books towards the Race to 500,000 books, and hopefully everybody can come and have a great time and collect some books for some children and some adults.
How can someone sign up for the Run United 1 mile Race to Kindness?
You can contact the store, Run United, or you can go to my website, racetokindness.com, and, contact us and talk about, we will hopefully be able to see you there at the event.
And for our listeners who are interested in the event, Run United is located in the Shops at Broad inside the Field House.
It is.
So if you want to buy a brand new pair of running shoes.
Absolutely, for the event. Help support their cause and help support our cause. It's a win-win.
Orion Jean, what's your favorite ice cream?
My favorite ice cream. Now that you mention it, I think that I'm either a cookies and cream kind of person or birthday cake. I don't know. Either one.
We've reached that time of the interview where we really get to know our guest. It's called the lightning round.
Ooh.
It's a very simple game of this or that. All right. Would you like to participate?
Absolutely.
All right. This is the opportunity for our listeners to really get to know Orion Jean. Night or day?
I think that I am a daytime kind of person because you're supposed to be asleep at night.
Soda or juice?
Juice. Unfortunately, I don't have soda.
French fries or tater tots?
French fries all the way.
Godzilla or King Kong?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think I'm going to go with whoever won in the movie.
Skydive or bungee jump?
I would say neither, but I'm going to go with skydiving.
Hardcover or paperback?
Hardcover.
Fortnite or Minecraft?
Minecraft.
Marvel or DC Comics?
Marvel.
Ernie or Bert?
Ooh. Probably Bert.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
The Race to Kindness, Orion Jean, can be found more information at racetokindness.com. If you want to send them an email, racetokindness@gmail.com. You've got the Mansfield Back to School Book Fair on August 7th, and also on August 7th, the 1 mile Race to Kindness for Kids, along with Run United. You can find, again, more information on the racetokindness.com website. Orion Jean, is there anything that you want to add before we say goodbye?
Well, there is one thing. I know that
Do it.
I briefly mentioned this in the beginning, but I am going to be coming out with a book, and it's called A Kid's Book About Leadership. You can go to akidsbookabout.com to, find out more information and hopefully pre-order the book so you can, help support this book.
Orion Jean, you've got to be the most intelligent 10-year-old I've ever talked to.
Thank you.
I sure appreciate you being on About Mansfield.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we will talk in studio with yet another fascinating person from the community. You will just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Enter your email address on our website, aboutmansfield.com. We will never send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without written consent is prohibited. We thank you all for listening. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo. It's great to be back in the saddle. And this is About Mansfield.